Yes, the fun begins tonight. Um, Either or, let's get right to it. I went out and I bought 11700 or an i7 11700K. It's Intel's 11th gen CPU. I want to say it's mid tier. It's 8 cores, 16 threads or something like that. Um, Either or, it's got a max turbo, which is not across all cores. It's got a max turbo of 5 gigahertz. Um, This is sort of how I'm set up in the wintertime when it comes down to benchmarking. Yes, I am having a smoke, and as you can see, it's quite cold. Um, but either or, these are two 30 millimeter radiators put together back to back to make 60 millimeters. What I usually use for benching in the wintertime is these two radiators, my 60 and my 80. But obviously, I'm not using those, so. But that's usually how I run. But since I'm obviously using those radiators, I gotta use my other ones, which were up there, as you've seen from the other video. But this is how I bench in the wintertime, which this is not wintertime. This AC goes all the way down to 60 degrees. Like I said, on 70. And I got the little hack put into place with the heat gun with the little temperature probe for the AC right there, so it never shuts down. But either or, this is pretty much how I usually set up. I got my second power supply here plugged in to the water pump. So realistically, I can turn it on and off anytime I want, just like that. But here we go. Gonna give you guys a run. The Intel Core 11th Gen i7 11700K. 11700K. My apology. And yes, we are cold. It's got a max turbo boost of 5 gigahertz, pushing 5.2 all cores. So what do you say we let this bad boy run? Yeah, I don't know why I keep jumping back and forth, but it's either or. It's there. It's 5.2 gigahertz all cores. So yeah, needless to say, the CPU is being pushed very hard right now, and it's only on water. That's it. I haven't even learned this CPU, what it likes and what it doesn't like. This is my literally my first time benching it, just for sheer shits and giggles. Um, but yeah, got a long ways to go before I get the CPU down pat, so I know what it likes and what it doesn't like. I'll run that again. 5.2 gigahertz all cores, back to back. In the wintertime, I'll get it a lot colder. I'll be hitting sub-zero easy, meaning negative C. Well, I forgot exactly what temperature sub-zero is, but I know I'm in sub-zero before I start the bench. But I'll be negative C this winter, as I always am. But there you go. 5.2 gigahertz all cores. I mean, she's being pushed hard. Like I said, just messing around with the CPU. Just figuring out what it likes, what it doesn't like. This is my first time benching the CPU, and this is not my typical benching setup at all. I just cannot wait to get it going. And yes, these lines feel like glass right now. They're solid as a rock. And as you can see, yes, it is quite cold. Yeah, see, it's quite cold. The tape on the rads is getting nice and frosty, I should say. But there you go. Yeah, I was screwing around and knocked off my LED, my LCD screen for the Kingpin card, but it's whatever. I ain't worried about it right now. I was focused on the CPU for tonight. And that's all she wrote. More to come. Oh, my apology. Yes, the CPU is delidded. The die is sanded down, or is lapped. It's just lapped enough to get it flat. It's not lapped like crazy. The IHS is lapped. Believe it or not, it's the IHS from my 10900K that's on the 11700K. So didn't have to really know. I just switched them out. But yeah, there you go. That's all she wrote. Later.